Okay, so can anyone at least tell me what do you mean by group dynamic? Okay, since this topic has already been covered, what do you mean by dynamic? Okay, group two, I think everyone knows, right? What is a group? Group means nothing but a collection of individual. Okay, it can be a small group, big group, it can be formal group, informal group, right? So there are various type of group actually, voluntary group. Okay, so can you tell me what do you mean by group dynamic?
The characteristics of a group, ma'am.
Okay, then anything else? Okay, that is also somehow correct. Okay, but actually, whenever we say dynamic is something which holds something which holds a group together, like it is like dynamic is like a force. Okay, or whenever we say group dynamic is like we try to understand each individual. For example, some groups are there which develop based on some. For example, like a social organization group, right? So those group why they are developed because there are those group which are really aimed at helping the people in the society, right, for so many various causes. So that is a force which binds them together. Okay, so whenever we say group dynamic is something which it is like a force which bind different groups together. Okay, so first of all, whenever before any group form together, they should first of all know what are the main motive. They should have very common, like what we can say, goals or motives and all. Okay, then only the group will be able to function very well, or it will be able to function normally as we can say. Okay, so whenever we say actually group dynamic, it is like a force. Okay, so it is like a force which binds the different members of the group together. So and for that force to develop, actually first of all you should have a very good common interest. Okay, all the group members should have a very common interest, and they should have a very good this one they should have a really a very good motive for being in the group. Okay, they should not have any form of selfish behavior. Okay, they should always think whenever they do anything, they should always think for the betterment of the group. Okay, so they should not take it in a sense like, okay, I'll do this for my own benefit. That type of attitude should not be there whenever you're working in a group. So whatever you're doing, you should always do it for the benefit of the group as a whole. Okay, so actually, when we say dynamic, okay, it is a force and it refers to the force operating in the group. It is concerned with the dynamic interaction of the individuals in face-to-face relationship, which is also very important. As you all know, right? Communication is a key for everything. So good communication is very important. Okay, without any good or proper interpersonal interaction and all, we will not be able to function in the group. Okay, so many misunderstanding can happen, and also we should know, okay, how to whom to communicate, which type of thing which we need to communicate to which type of individual. So all those things also we should be very aware. As a leader, understanding the group dynamic is very essential in order to both compose and guide the individuals within the group for the purpose of successful and effectively completing an assignment. Okay, yes, that is also very important. So, as a group leader, you should be very aware about what are each and of your members' motives. Okay, so what are their goals and what are their weakness, what are their strengths. So by understanding all those, because as you all know, each and every individual is different, right? Nobody is unique. So some might be good at something, okay, some might be not good in that same thing, and so many differences might happen because once we work in a group, especially if it is a very big group, so as a leader it is his job to understand like what are each and of his group members motive, goals, okay, and how to limit or to reduce the differences among the different group members. Okay, so for that, understanding of group dynamic is very important. So when we say to the definition of group dynamic, it says it is a social process by which people interact face to face in a small groups. And group dynamic is also the study of group and the group processes, the personal interrelationship among the members of a group. Okay, so I think this is understandable. So when we say, okay, actually, what are the main objectives of group dynamic? So first, it helps identify and analyze the social process, the impact on the group development and performance. Okay, this is also very important because different group they might have different way of communicating, different way of solving different form of problems. Okay, so whenever we study group dynamic, means we should try to understand that concept. So we have to analyze and we have to see. Okay, So then only, because by after understanding that only, then you'll be able to really help the group members. Okay, so what are the things which really help my group members to understand, suppose a particular, how to solve a particular problem? So how it can be done in which way, which can be easily understood by my group members. So all those we have to clearly we have to identify and we have to analyze. Acquire the skills necessary to intervene and improve the individual and group performance in an organizational context. Okay, because obviously if you are working in an organization, so many things, tasks you need to complete, right? So for that, what happens? So we have, by understanding group dynamics, means we will be able to understand what type of methods of communication I should use, right? What type of skills, okay, leadership skills I should use in order to make sure that whatever work, okay, it is there in the organization, or whatever goals, it is being achieved effectively within a short span of time, okay, and with a very good group, uh, this one contribution, as we can say, okay. It also built more successful organization by applying techniques by that provides positive impact on goal achievement. Okay, because once we understand the differences among the group members, so we can reduce our differences by increasing communication. Okay, sometimes we might be giving them some group therapy. So this, all these different techniques we can use. So these are actually very important, so that all this ultimately, whatever we do, okay, ultimately it will be for the benefit of the organization, right? So all this actually helps in bringing a very good impact to the organization. So that is the main reason why we need to understand group dynamic. Okay, so some of the principles of group dynamic is that, okay, the members of the group must have a very strong sense of belonging to the group. That is the first main important factors. Okay, so if the, this is actually the first factors which drawn the people together to form a group. Okay, they should have a good sense of belongingness. Then only they'll be able to give their full 100% or dedication to their particular group. Okay, changes in one part of the group may produce stress in another person, which can be reduced only by eliminating or allowing the change by bringing about readjustment in the related parts. Okay, so sometimes, as you all know, slight changes or so many like uh, changes, if some changes are being produced, okay, so one changes it's affecting the entire group. Okay, if you are making in changes in one part, ultimately the changes will be affected to all the group members. So that also we have to make sure that whatever changes we are making in the group, it should be something which it can be adjustable for everyone. Okay, so that in that way everyone can be like so much, so that no type of chaos, okay, or no type of misunderstanding happen. Everyone can work effectively in the group. The group arises and function owing to the common motives. Okay, that is also very important. Okay, so obviously we should, whenever we work in a group, we usually have some motives, right? Like I have already given you the example of some social group, right? Social organization group, they have different motives with different aims that I want to achieve. That is actually the thing which they are mainly aim, or which draws them together. The group survives by placing the members into the functional hierarchy and facilitating the actions towards the goal. So as you all know, even if you remember the organizational chart also, right? So even there, everything is placed in a hierarchy manner. That is actually very important to keep everything organized, so that people will know, right, to whom to address, who is the leader, at least suppose who is the secretary in the group, okay, who are the chairperson, who are the general secretary members. So these type of hierarchy development is also very important. So it really helps to keep the group very organized, so that the people will know whom to approach, okay, what are the flow of direction will go. So all those also are very important. Okay, so especially if you say in a professional organization group, we always have a very good organizational structure, right? So based on that only, our flows of communication also it will go. Okay, so that's why in every group actually this type of hierarchy should be there. Okay, or ranking, or just different position of the different group members, we can say in simple words. So that should be there. Then the intergroup relations or group organization and members participation are very essential for the effectiveness of the group. Okay, so everyone should contribute, like I've said. Okay, every members should work for the betterment of the group as a whole. They should not have any form of selfish attitude, right, which we can say. So they should always do everything for the benefit of the group. Information relating to need for change, plan for change, and consequences of changes must be shared by the members of the group. Okay, this is also very important, because before making any slight changes. Okay, so all those need to discuss properly with the different members. Okay, then only the changes should be made so that it will not affect the members, other group members. Okay, so everything should be done for the beneficial of the group as a whole, not for the individual interest benefit. Okay, so these are the principles. So some of the curative factors which we can say, okay, these factors are actually very important, okay, for group dynamic whenever we try to maintain a very good group environment. So these factors we should try to remember. Okay, so these factors, curative factors, was given by Yalom in the year 1985. So according to him, there are 11 curative factors that the individuals can achieve through interpersonal interaction within the group. Okay, so the first one, what does it says is installation of hope. This is also very important. Okay, so it is especially as a leader of the group. So it is his job to make sure that he should always give a positive review of the group, right? Try to draw the members, like to gain their uh, what we can say, okay, to gain their attention, okay, to also to make sure that all this type of feeling, okay, of belongingness, okay, all those things should be there. Okay, so like we can as we can say, like we have to have first is we have to make sure that this installation of hope should be there in the group. Then universality, that is when we say universality means like it all the individual within the group members. Okay, so we should see for the overall benefit for all the individual. Like I've mentioned, even if you try to make only some changes also, before making those changes we have to make sure that it doesn't affect the other members group, right? So we have to have there should not be any bias among any group members. Okay, all should be very clear. Okay, and this thing is very important for group to function effectively. Okay, imparting of information, this is also very important. Time to time some changes might be there, right? So this is, so it is the especially the job of the leader of the group to make sure that whenever any form of new information it is being uh, added up, all right, so all those information should be given effectively to all the other group members. So time to time information should be given or shared to all the members in the group. Okay, then the next is altruism. Okay, so whenever we say altruism, okay, so it is actually, it is like doing, it is like being unselfish. Okay, like doing doing something for the benefit of others. Okay, so it's like doing something for the benefit of others without accepting any form of benefits for yourself. So this is something like we do it from our own will. Okay, or which we do it from our own desires. It's like a desire to help others. Okay, whenever we say altruism in simple word, is like a desire to help others, even though you know that even if you do that work you will not be benefited from that particular work, but still you have a very good, okay, attitude of helping others. Okay, so it's like a desire to help others whenever we say altruism. This is actually very important. Okay, especially in a group, so you should always have this type of attitude, then only the group will grow, right? Development of socializing techniques, so different socializing techniques we should see. Okay, and based on that we should see which are the things, socializing methods which is and techniques which is more effective for the particular group. Okay, depending on their level of knowledge, right, level of understanding. So all those things also we have to see. Imitative behavior, imitative behavior is like we try to follow. Okay, but we should always take the good things from others, right? So like how, especially if you have very good leaders, so you also the leader become like a role model to you, right? So you're trying to imitate whatever things that that particular leader is doing. Okay, so that is actually the meaning of the word imitative behavior. Okay, so you're trying to follow the rules, or you're trying to follow the guidance of your leader. Okay, then the other thing is like interpersonal learning. Okay, so as a group we always know that, okay, there's always room for improvement. There are so many things which we can learn as a group. Like even if we are, suppose even if we are faced with so many different problems in a group, so working towards working and solving that problem, that is also so many things which we can learn even during that process, right? So, and also we can learn so many things from each other also. So that is like an interpersonal learning. Then group cohesiveness, I think you understand. Okay, that is a group, whenever a particular group have very sense of belongingness, they have very good interaction, that is also very important. That is called as the group cohesiveness, right? Then the other word is catharsis. Okay, so whenever we say catharsis, is like it is a method of replacing, suppose any. Hello, yes, somebody is saying something. Okay, catharsis, when we say catharsis, is like replacing any unhappy moments or sad emotions. Okay, by replacing, we replace it in a different form. For example, a person who is very stressed at work. Okay, so she's already very frustrated because of overwork, because of overburden at work, right? So but instead she will not put her frustration on her kids, she will not put her frustration on her family members. Instead she will replace it in a good man, like she will instead, suppose she will listen to some music or she will do some yoga. So by doing that thing, what happened, it helps to release her stress. Okay, so that is actually the meaning of the word catharsis. Okay, so whenever we say catharsis, it's like we are trying to express our happy moments or any sad feeling, sad emotion, which we can say, like being sad or being happy, very expressive in a different way. Okay, rather than getting angry at someone, or rather than uh, torturing ourselves, so we express it in a different form. For example, like listening to music, or like doing some yoga, okay, doing some dancing or playing some music. So this is actually how we can do. So this thing is actually also very important, especially in a group. Right, so you might have so many misunderstanding among the group members. So during that time, you don't just go and shout to that particular group members, or you don't just uh, go and shout at them, okay, get angry at them. Instead, you're going to try to distract your emotions and use it in a different way. Okay, so that is actually the meaning of the word catharsis. Then existential factors is like a feeling of social, that is like a social identity that we have in a group. This is also very important. Okay, so this is actually the 11 curative factors for group dynamics. So these are very important, okay, to order to function effectively in a group. So next we will see with the group development theoretical basis. Actually, there are four main theory when we say for group dynamics, which was given by different theorists. So we have the classic theory, the social exchange theory, social identity theory, and the Tuckman stages model. Okay. So according to the classic theory, actually this theory, it was given by George Homans. Okay, so he suggests that groups develop based on activities, interactions, and sentiments. Okay, so this is actually, in simple way, that means people are drawn together towards a group. Okay, based on common interests of, or based on common activity. For example, uh, sports group, right? Sports group also, we have different sports. Suppose people are interested in football, okay, they come together with that interest, they have a common interest of football, so they form a particular group. Okay, so that is actually what we mean by this classic theory. According to this theory, it says that people are drawn together based on their common activities or interaction and sentiments. So basically the theory means that when individuals share common activities, they will have more interaction and will develop a very good positive attitudes towards each other. Okay, it can be positive or negative also. And the major element in this theory is interaction of the individual involved. Okay, so this is actually a very simple theory, okay, which says that people are drawn together based on their common activities. Okay, so after that, what happened, the interaction they have between among them during the process of their group, okay, that is actually very important, which will help to know whether the group will be staying, or maybe the group might disband again later, right? So that's why having a very good interaction also during that process is also very important, to make sure to hold the group together. Okay, so that is the meaning of the classic theory. So it means that people are drawn based on common activities. The social exchange theories, according to this theory, it says that people sometimes they are developing the group based on their own, like exchange benefit. Okay, like you also, you'll be helping, yeah, if I suppose if I join this group, me also, I'll be getting some help from her, and she also, she'll be helping me, and me also, I'll be helping her. That is the meaning of the word social exchange theory. Okay, so like helping each other. So it offers an alternative explanation for group development. According to this theory, individuals form the relationship based on the implicit expectations of mutually beneficial exchange based on trust and felt obligations. Okay, so thus a perception that exchange relationship will be positive is a very essential if individuals are to be attracted to and affiliated within a group. Okay, so that is the meaning of the word social exchange. It's like you are joining the group based on the thinking that you also will be socially benefited from the group, as well as others also will benefited from you, and you also will be benefited from the group. Okay, so like you're having a form of a social exchange benefits. Okay, then the social identity. Okay, so social identity is actually when, because as you all know, okay, so all of us, okay, as we are all human being, right, we have a nature, we want to become, have a sense of belongingness whenever we are living in any particular environment, right? So whenever we say social identity is like some people they join a group to have a form of a social identity in a particular society, suppose, or in a particular organization or anywhere, right? So in this theory, social identity theory, it is says that individual get a sense of identity and self-esteem, okay, based upon the membership in a aligned group. Okay, so by being in that group also, just by being having the sense of belongingness, okay, it give a form of self-worth to an individual. Okay, it boosts her self-esteem, which we can say, right? So this is actually the meaning of the word social identity theory. Okay, the nature of the group may be demographically based, okay, culturally based, or organizational based. Individuals are motivated to belong and contribute to identity groups because of the sense of belongingness and self-worth membership in the group, what the group imparts. Okay, so that is the meaning of the social identity theory. That means people join a group in order to have a form of sense of belongingness, which indirectly boosts their self-esteem and also give them a form of this one form of belongingness in a society, which is very important. Okay, because as a social well-being we always want that social identity whenever we are. Then the next model, this is the Tuckman stages. Okay, this model actually describes how a group form. Okay, like how, what is the stages for a group development. Okay, this is also actually very important. Okay, sometimes it also comes as a different question again. Okay, so what are the stages a group develops? So if that question comes, then you can give this. Okay, so according to Tuckman, there are 5 stages actually where how a group develop. Okay, the first is forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Okay, so forming from the word itself, right? So this is like the first step when the group come together, or in this forming stage, what happened? Orientation and all those things happens. This is the time when you first meet each other, right? You don't know nothing about anyone, so you are giving your name. Okay, you're telling your name. You're exchanging some few information, right? So this is that the first stage of group development. Storming is like that is the second stage where so much of misunderstanding, conflicts, and all those things happens during this stage. Okay, and when we say norming, again, norming is the stage where all those conflicts, okay, so some form of understanding develop. Okay, all this misunderstanding is gone. Okay, people try to understand each other and try to adjust. Then performing is like, as the word itself is like, during those stages, so many group activities, all those will be done by the different group members. That is the performing. And when we say adjourning, means this is when the group disbandment, or disbandment is like the group they separate. Okay, all the group members separate and the group is not there anymore. So that is the meaning of the word adjourning. Okay, so the first, okay, so there are usually 5 stages. Okay, the first stage is the forming. So this stage is usually characterized by some confusion and uncertainty, because obviously this is the first time that you're meeting each other, right? So you don't know anything about anyone, right? So this is like the first stage of group development. So the major goal of this group have not been established. Okay, the nature of the task or relationship of the group has also not been determined, because you are just meeting for the first time. So this actually, during this phase, what happened usually, orientation is like an orientation period where you introduce yourself. Okay, you ask about each other's info, where do you work, okay, where you have studied, okay, what are your hobbies, what are your goals. So this is actually, that is, or that type of orientation period. Okay, then the members, they learn they learn the purpose of the group as well as the rules to be followed. Okay, so that it should be learned. Okay, members learn the purpose of the group. And the forming stage should not be rushed because trust and openness must be developed first. Okay, you should not be so in a hurry that you are readily to be in that particular group without understanding properly, right? Because again, later on, so much of misunderstanding and miscommunication also might occur. These feelings strengthened in later stages of development, and individuals are often confused during those stages because roles are not clear. Okay, then there may not be a strong leader. Okay, so all types of things will develop because this is the first stage of the group development. Then the second is storming. Okay, so what happened in this stage? The group is likely to see the highest level of disagreement. Okay, so much of disagreement, so much of conflict, everyone might have because this is a time when somebody suppose even for a simple task, just by choosing a leader, also so much of conflict might happen. Okay, so some might say no, he is not good, he is better, he is much better than him. So all those disagreement and conflicts might happen during the storming stage. The members often challenge group goals and struggles for power. Everyone wants to be at the top, right? So during those stage, this as we can say during this stage, storming stage, like all the members are a little bit what we can say selfish for their own benefits, right? So that's why they always want to be on the top. Okay, they always, whenever somebody gives their views, he will try to again oppose that view. So all those things happen during the storming phase. Individuals often view for the leadership position during this stage of the development. So everyone wants to become the leader. Okay, so they are struggling and they are trying to demo, like which we can say like fighting for the fighting each other. Okay, like so much of misunderstanding is there. Then this can be a positive experiences for all group if the members can achieve cohesiveness through resolution. Otherwise, if no, then the group during this stage only the group formation will be stopped, or we can say it will break down. Okay. Members often voice concern and criticism during this phase, and if the members are not able to resolve, then the group will often disband. Okay, disband is like it breaks or continue to existence but will remain ineffective and will never advance to any other stage. Okay. So the next is norming. Okay, so norming, what happened? This is a stage where everyone, or members in the group, they recognize each other's differences, right? They try to resolve their conflict. Okay, okay. Suppose after so much of bargaining and this thing, they have come to the uh, this one. They have resolved all the misunderstanding. Okay, differences. Okay, and so this is also characterized by recognition of individual differences and shared expectations. So hopefully at this stage, the group members will begin to develop a feeling of group cohesion, okay, and identity. Cooperative effort should begin to yield the results. Responsibilities are divided among the members. Okay, so here different members are given different positions in the group, and also decides how we will evaluate the progress. Okay, this is what happened during the norming stage. Then the next is the performing. So performing actually occurs when the group have matured and attains a feeling of cohesiveness. And during this stage of development, the individuals accept one another's and conflicts also is being resolved through the group discussion. Okay. Members of the group make decisions through a rational process that is focused on relevant goals rather than emotional issues. So we should try to keep our emotion aside, right? We have to be very professionals whenever we work in any organization. That's why I have said about that what catharsis, right? So that is how we are trying to replace our emotion and express it in a different way, right? Then the next is adjourning. So actually, adjourning, like it is where the group breaks up or disband. So not all groups experience this stage of development because it is characterized by the disbandment of the group. Some group are relatively permanent. Okay, the reason that the group disband, it varies because of so many reasons. Okay, maybe they are unable to accomplish their particular goals, or maybe some of the group members are not cooperative, they are not contributing. Okay, they are not contributing to the group, all the group members. So this kind of so many different misunderstanding can occur, which might cause a group to go to break down. The members of the group often experience feeling of closure and sadness as they prepare to leave. Okay. So what are the role of nurse manager actually if we say in group dynamics? So first of all, she should have a very good knowledge of group dynamic, which is also very important. Okay, so what are the things? Okay, like even like just now we have discussed about the stages of group development, right? So even those also she should be very familiar with those so that she can really help and identify and resolve any form of conflicts like she should foresee, okay, she should have a thing like which she should foresee the future, what are the future conflicts that might happen and how to, okay, resolve them. Then groups are common features of a majority of experiences for all nurses in such roles. Okay, so everywhere, whenever we work in anywhere, also we cannot work alone, right? So we always need to work in a group. So we should really have a very good understanding of each others. We should have a sense of belongingness. We should have a selfless attitude. So all those also, as a group role manager, she should have like she should be able to develop or instinct those type of feelings to the other group members or to the subordinates. The nurse leader provides an atmosphere that allows open communication, which is very important. Okay, so that every member should be able to share their feelings, to give their views. Okay, so that they will be able to. These things help to resolve conflicts and all. What are the characteristics that may affect the attitude and behavior of the group members? So all these type of questions also time to time she should ask. Okay, group size, gender composition, race, ethnicity, and age among the group. So especially if you're working in a group with different age group, gender composition, so all this thing, so much of misunderstanding can occur. So but as a nurse manager, she should be able to identify what are the those what are the misunderstanding that might happen, okay, and how to resolve them. Okay, cohesion, okay, that means there is a feeling of attraction and a motivation to stay in a group, like a sense of self belongingness in a group. Then commitment is refers to a person's feelings and how they identify they are attached to the group's goals or activities. So as a nurse manager, usually, okay, so she have different roles in the group dynamics. Okay, first of all, supervising and managing the overall performance of the staff, analyzing, reporting, and giving recommendations, and developing strategic on how to improve quality and quantity of a nursing care. Okay, this is also especially very important. So time to time, okay, she should perform some form of performance appraisal, nursing audit. So this actually really helps in reviewing the different patient care given, okay, and how to also help the nurse who are having difficulties in performing certain tasks. Okay, so we should give them some small training. We should try to make them understand rather than, okay, so she should try to resolve that whatever problem that individual uh, nurse is having. Okay, so all this thing actually is very important. So it will really help the organization to grow. Okay, involve the employee in selection, career development, succession planning, and periodic training. Okay, so time to time we should like which you can say like continuing education or career development also should be provided for the individual employees working in any organization. Working out compensation and rewards. Okay, so every time whenever they are doing any good, right, we should always reward them. This it really helps in motivating the employees. Be responsible for the growth and increase in organization finance and earning, identifying the problems, creating choice, and providing alternative course of action. Then promote problem solving and acceptance of responsibilities. Okay, this is actually very important as a nurse manager. Then providing congenial environment or providing a very good working environment among the group members. Okay, group training time to time, like I've said, if anyone is having any form of difficulty, we should provide some form of training for the group. Time to time, actually, we should have this group training, group meeting. Okay, achieve business and organizational goals, visions, and objectives. So this is actually very important. Whenever we work in any organization, so many goals, objectives are there, right? So we should try to see what are the alternative which we can work, okay, which we can do in order to achieve all these objectives. Okay, so this is actually everything about group dynamic. Okay, so I hope everyone is clear with the topic. Okay, so what are group dynamic objectives, principles?